The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, and on demand on iTunes and YouTube. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio. We are in cable systems, serving an additional 12 million households. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten, for a special edition on the road to the White House, coming to you live from the McCain headquarters in Miami, Florida, outside of Miami, Florida, as we cover the primary here in Florida. We'll be in New York City next Tuesday for Super Tuesday. This is a very important GOP winner-take-all primary. The winner of this primary walks away with all 57 delegate votes. So unlike other states like California, which is obviously a very large state with a lot of delegates, where each candidate gets a percentage of the vote based on his or how many votes he or she got. That according to the polls, McCain and Romney are neck and neck here in Florida. So conceivably, one of them could edge the other out and could have maybe 1 percentage point greater than the other. Well, that would be enough to give that individual all 57 delegate votes from Florida. Just to set the stage for you a little more, the Democratic primary here in Florida is totally meaningless because the Democratic National Party decreed that any state party that held its primary before Super Tuesday would not get any delegates for the National Convention. So the Democratic primary is basically a straw vote. The Democratic candidates have sat it out here in Florida State. The one candidate who did not sit it out, and this strategy apparently is backfiring on him, is Rudy Giuliani. Rudy sat out all the previous primaries and caucuses, putting all of his eggs into the Florida basket, and it seemed to be a good strategy at first because he was getting, according to the polls, double-digit leads over the other candidates. Well, now it looks like he's probably going to come in third or fourth, and which means that probably tomorrow he will be dropping out of the race. In fact, today when the National Press Corps traveling with Rudy got onto the press bus, on each of their seats there was a baseball autographed by Rudy Giuliani, kind of like a momentum of the campaign that he gave them as a going away present. My bet is that Rudy is out of it as of tomorrow morning. But for now, we do still have a race here in Florida between McCain and Romney, and as I suggested, 57 delegate votes, all of them go to the winner. And so it's a very, very important primary for the Republicans. Paltalk is pleased to take the show on the road to the White House. We want to bring you as up close and personal to the process as possible, because we want people to be engaged in the political process. And for those of you who do not live in the United States and who participate in this forum, that's fine, because who we elect here in the United States will determine his administration or her administration, foreign policy that affects you no matter where you are in the world. So your voice is very important to us as well. This show will go on for the next hour at least, possibly longer, depending on how long it takes for developments to work their way out. We're going to stay with it for you right here in Florida. We decided to restart the show at 7 o'clock Eastern Time because most of the polls close in Florida at 7 Eastern. However, some of the polls don't close until 8 o'clock Eastern Time here in Florida. It's very confusing, but we'll stay with it and keep you as informed as possible. This show is only successful because of the participation of you, my terrific audience. So the more people who get their hands up and make their voices heard, the better. So let's start right away with Scott, who's joining us from Canada. Scott, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
My question for the McCain camp is, how important in Florida is the healthcare debate going, and how's that working out? I mean, Romney has this plan in Massachusetts. I think it's like $400 million over budget right now, and apparently, according to the McCain camp, hundreds of thousands of people in Massachusetts are still uninsured. Is healthcare a key point in the Florida debate? And I know that McCain has a healthcare plan, and I think everyone realizes that healthcare is coming to a perfect storm, as indicated by
Well, as you know, Scott, Florida has, and I would invite you when Ken Pauley from WFTL rejoins us in about a half an hour to come back and talk to him about this, because he obviously has his finger on the pulse of Florida more so than do I. But obviously, Florida has an aged community, a pretty large aged community, because a lot of people come here to retire, and so healthcare is of concern to the people here in Florida. So I'm sure that's an issue that resonates with a lot of the voters. So that's my short answer to your question. Warrior163_1 says in text in our virtual auditorium, McCain is from a border state. What has he done about illegals? Nothing. Well, I don't know that he has done nothing. He has presented a proposal to help legitimize the process for people who are in the country illegally. Some people view that as an amnesty program. He suggests that it is not, but that is one of his approaches to the issue. So I wouldn't say that he has done nothing, Warrior 163. Let me see who's my next caller. I'm told that it is Antonio joining us from Amsterdam. Antonio, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Hi everyone. I grew up in the States, pretty long time, about 10 years. But in the end moved to Europe. I'm actually a Dutch national. I just had one comment on the whole immigration thing. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that Americans, are pissed off that immigrants are coming over, taking jobs for little wages and stuff. But what I don't get is, why don't you just knock on the White House door? I mean, it's your government that's letting all these immigrants in. I just checked this website. It's like a tally on how much the American government is spending in Iraq. It's $275 million a day. $275 million a day. That's just unbelievable. I mean, spend it on, if you really want the immigrants out, spend it on building huge fences, or like super dogs, that go after people and stuff. I mean, yeah, just knock on the government's door. I mean, you don't have to complain to the Mexicans that are coming in. I mean, if I was Mexican,